Hi, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Katharine, and in today's video, I'm taking you through a weekend in my life. I haven't done one of these types of videos in a while, but I enjoy making them and I know y'all like watching them, so I decided to film one again. It's actually Thursday. I know it's a little bit early for doing a weekend in my life vlog, but I'm starting it a little bit early because I can and I want to, and why not just get excited about the weekend just a little bit early. But anyways, I just got out of work. I'm a preschool teacher, so the school is like 5 minutes down the road from the movie theater. My mom is actually meeting me here because, for those who don't know, I live like 30 minutes from the movie theater, so it just didn't make sense for me to like drive all the way home for 30 minutes and then drive 30 minutes back up here with my mom. So we're just meeting here to watch the new live action Snow White. And I am so excited to be watching this because of the fact that Snow White was like my favorite princess growing up until the Tangled movie came out when I was like in middle school or high school, and then Rapunzel became my favorite princess. I know there's been some like controversy about Rachel Zegler, like the main actress in this film who plays Snow White, because like she basically has said some like very offhand comments, not just about like her personal life, but like about like Snow White, the story in general. And a lot of people have been upset about that, but I'm just gonna try to go in there and watch the movie objectively for like what it is, and like try not to be so judgmental about the actress in her personal life, and just see the movie for what it is. And I'll give my honest opinion of the movie when I get out. I don't know if my mom's gonna want to be on camera. If she is, she is. If she doesn't want to be on it, she won't be on it. But let's just go watch the new live action Snow White. So I just got out of watching Snow White with my mom, the new live action of that movie, and it was okay. It definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it definitely had a lot more potential to be like way better. My problem just overall with like the new live actions that they're coming out with is that they don't have the Disney magic that like most original Disney movies had or have. And that's with like not just like the live action movies, but it's with a lot of like the other movies that Disney has come out with in like the past 10 to 15 years. They've been doing a lot of sequels, live actions, which are essentially what I believe are just remakes of movies. And I just don't feel like Disney overall has the capacity to create any original content for movies or shows or any form of entertainment for that matter. And I just feel like I was just disappointed in that aspect, that it's just like another live action that they were just trying to put out just to put out, and there was just like no Disney magic there for me. The only redeeming quality of this movie was the dwarfs. Although I do wish the dwarves were casted as actual little people rather than them being CGI, but that's besides the point. That was the only redeeming quality for me, because I got like glimpses of what Disney magic could have been like in this movie, but it didn't quite make that Disney magic mark for me. And then also like I just felt like they just had poor casting in general, not just with the dwarfs, but with all of the characters, like Snow White, the evil queen, the Prince Charming. Like, he wasn't even a prince, and he wasn't even that charming to me. But yeah, I would probably give it a solid like 4 out of 10, and that's like being generous. It was just like an okay movie. It was just meh. Like, if I had to give it a word, it's just meh, you know? So, like I mentioned, probably my subjective rating of the movie was like a 4 out of 10. And like I mentioned, that's a generous rating from me. It was just kind of average, maybe a little bit below average. I'm not a movie critic, so please don't like come after me. This isn't like a very complex rating or serious rating. This is just how I kind of felt about the movie. I almost said the book, but it's a movie. I just overall thought it was a little bit below average. It definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but definitely not at all what the potential for it could have been. And like I mentioned, I think the things that kind of dumbed it down for me were, first of all, like I mentioned before, the poor casting choices. B, like, poor plot change choices. Like, they did change some of the plot, and I didn't appreciate that. Like, I don't need the live action movie, to be like a word for word, like plot point by plot point per se, like of the original, but like at least keep it true to like at least somewhat of the original. And they didn't really do that. And then, like I mentioned, it was C, kind of just average. It wasn't anything special or spectacular. The only redeeming thing about this movie was the dwarfs. And even with that, like, I wish it wasn't CGI. I wish they had actually casted little people as the dwarfs. But that's my thoughts about Snow White. I know I kind of rambled, but that's kind of like what I thought of the movie, like right after watching it. But I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go to bed, and tomorrow I have work. It's Friday. And then after that, I think I'm gonna go to a library book sale, because I've noticed that I've been wanting to go to one. I've been itching to go to one, but I haven't like seen any library book sales that I should mention, in my area. Like, I feel like in my area there isn't a lot of library book sales, and I feel like whenever I see like other people going to library book sales, like on YouTube, I'm like, why can't I go to one? There's like none around me. But I finally found one like in my area that I'm gonna go to tomorrow, and I'm super excited about tomorrow. So the next time that you see me is probably gonna be after I get out of work tomorrow and going to the library book sale. So I just got back from a walk, and I know I told you guys that I was going to go to that library book sale today, but upon double checking the library's social media pages, I realized that today, on Friday, is just for members only. I don't know exactly what that means. Sometimes libraries, especially here in New England, have these organizations called like Friends of Enter Library name, and those like organizations, programs, they're the ones that run like the book sales and things. So I don't know if you have to be a member of that specific organization or program to get like early access to library book sales, but I'm just gonna plan on going to the library book sale on Saturday, so tomorrow, because it is open to the public on Saturday and Sunday. So I'm just gonna go tomorrow on Saturday after I go to the gym. I do have a personal training session tomorrow at 7 a.m. And then after my 7 a.m. session with my personal trainer, I'm gonna go to the library book sale. It opens at 9, so hopefully I can get there like right at 9 and see all of the books that they have there. I don't know if I'm gonna get anything. I don't know what they have, and I honestly have so many books on my physical TBR or to be read list, so it's just giving me anxiety if I'm gonna buy another book to add to my physical TBR. But I love just going and looking, even if I don't buy anything. But yeah, that's just my update for today, Friday. I, went to work this morning. I came home, went on a walk, and now I'm just gonna chill out. I'm actually active right now on DoorDash right now. For those who don't know, I do DoorDash, like the food delivery service, on the side to just make some extra money. But yeah, I just have it active right now so that if I get any orders, then I'll do them. But if not, I'm just gonna chill out for the rest of the night. But I'll see you tomorrow. So it is clearly the next day. I went to my personal training session this morning at the gym, as you saw, and now I'm sitting in the parking lot of the library. I'm about to go into that library book sale that I was talking about. I'm finally here. I thought I was gonna come yesterday, but like I mentioned before, that was for members only, apparently, upon double checking the social media posts that I saw about this event. But I'm excited to be here now. I'm here, and that's all that matters. I wanted to get here a little early. I'm about 10 minutes early because I can already tell there's a line outside of the front entrance of the library right now. I just passed it as I was coming into the parking lot. But anyways, I'm excited. I am like not very competitive when it comes to these library book sales. I know there's people, just like with thrift stores or yard sales, there's even like a crowd for library book sales where they like go hard and get super competitive about like buying books. And I don't know if it's because they're like hoarders or if they resell the books or what, but like there are some people that go hard at these types of events. But I'm not here for that. I'm here to literally just have fun. I honestly didn't know about this event until quite recently. I actually pass by this library like on my commute to work sometimes, and I saw like a big sign pointing in the library's direction, and then I double checked social media to make sure that it was actually going on, and lo and behold, it was going on. So I decided to just come today and check it out. So I don't know if I'm gonna find any books in there that I want to buy, but it's fun just to look around and see what they have. I know the last library book sale that I went to was like years ago at my local library. This library actually is like not in my hometown. It's about like 20 minutes from my town, and I decided just to come here because it's a new library. It's a new selection of things and books. Not things, just books, I should say. But my library, specifically like in my town, doesn't do a lot of library book sales. Like it's very sporadic. It's not scheduled by any means. Like there's no annual or semi-annual event where they have a library book sale. So I was happy to see that this one was going on. I don't know if this is a scheduled event where they do it every year or every other year. I think this library as well just does it periodically. But yeah, let's go inside. Enough of me rambling, and let's see if I can find any great books for a great deal. So I did some damage in the library book sale. I didn't expect it to be as busy as it was, and also that they had such a wide selection. I am just so used to the library book sale that I go to in my hometown, where it's not very advertised, and also there's not like a wide selection of books. But this one was great. I found so many books. So let me show you. I spent like an hour and a half in there, and I literally went up and down the aisles like 5 times, just like looking everything over, because I feel like you don't get a fair assessment of like the selection that they have if you are just like quickly going around once. You really have to like slowly go around a few times. And also what I noticed is that they were like restocking books. Like as soon as there was room for like more books to be put out, they were putting out more books. So you were constantly seeing new books that weren't there before, which is great. But let me just show you what I got, because I got some, okay? So The first one I want to show you is actually kind of like ironic because I was just thinking about this book. I remember reading it as a kid and I didn't remember like the specific name of it. All I knew that it was about like this weasel, and it literally is called The Wainscot Weasel, and it's by Tor Siedler. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. But I remember reading this as a kid and I loved it. I didn't quite understand it when I was that young though. Like I remember being a bit confused by it, but still loving it. It was when I was learning how to read, so maybe that was like why I was so confused by the book. But I would love to like reread this and like see if I still like it as much as I remember. But yeah, I found this and it was really ironic that I found it because like I was literally just thinking about it like yesterday or the day before and I just couldn't think of the name of it. So I'm glad I got this. I'm gonna try to like build my children's book collection because I do want kids one day. I'm not married and I don't have kids right now, but I want to start building it now so that when I do have kids, I can at least like have a decent collection to read with them or read to them if they're not reading yet. But this is like one of my favorites and I knew that I wanted to like buy it, and this collection that I want to get of my books for like children's books, I should say, I want it to be a collection just of like my favorite books of all time for children's books. So this is one of my favorite children's books. Check it out if you haven't already. On to some more children's books. I got My Father's Dragon by Ruth Stiles Gannett. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I remember reading this in the second grade. Like my teacher read it to us in class. Like I didn't read it physically, like if that makes sense. Like I didn't read it myself, but I remember reading this, like my teacher reading this to us in class during the second grade, and I loved this, so I got it. And then along the same lines is what I'm trying to say, is this is the second book in that series. It's called Elmer and the Dragon, and this is also by Ruth Stiles Gannett, and I just loved this whole series, so I decided to get this one too. And then the last children's book I got, which I think is technically considered a middle grade, is Holes by Louis Satcher. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I'm just like butchering these names today apparently, but I remember this being like really popular when I was like in middle school, and I know that there's a movie about it, and I remember watching the movie on Disney Channel when I was a kid as well. So I got this one too. And then the 3 adult books that I got were A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman. I also got The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery by Gabrielle Zevin. And then I got The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. I know there's a movie about this. And I know there's a movie coming out about The Storied Life of A.J. Fickery as well. And I think there's also a movie coming out about A Man Called Ove if there isn't already. But yeah, those are all the books that I got. I'm so glad that I came. Apparently they do this book sale like annually, and it's actually biannual. Is that the correct terminology? They do it twice a year. Okay, so they do it in March and then in September, and they do it every year. So whatever annual that is, they do it twice a year. But anyway, I'm really excited to be coming back to this one because it's not too far away from my house. It's like 20 minutes, so it's not like a bad commute to come here, and I just can't wait to come to future ones. But yeah, let's see what the rest of the day holds, or the weekend holds, because it's just Saturday. And I think right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna DoorDash. I do DoorDash on the side, and basically I'm a preschool teacher, but I do DoorDash on the side just to make some extra money. So I'll do it like after work or on weekends. And none of these books are going to be for my preschool class. I did a little free library trip where I did get some books for my class, but these specific books that I got today, the children's ones, are not going to be for my class. They're just going to be for my own personal library of like a children's book collection that I want to get started on. But yeah, let's see what I can get up to and see if I can make some extra money doing DoorDash, probably for the rest of the day. back at the gym, second day in a row, because my personal trainer had an opening for this morning. So here I am yet again. I'm excited to be here and see what the rest of the day holds. So I'm clearly out of the gym. I'm doing DoorDash right now, and by my earbud, you can probably imagine I'm listening to an audiobook, and I'm listening currently to Voyager by Diana Gabaldon. And I've been really listening to a lot of audiobooks lately because I don't really have a lot of time in my full-time job to do reading, or just like in my everyday life, just because of the stage of life I'm in. So whenever I'm commuting to work, or whenever I'm not with my kids as a preschool teacher and I'm just doing like paperwork, I'll listen to an audiobook. When I'm doing DoorDash, I'll listen to an audiobook. I sometimes will read physically when I'm like about to go to bed at night, but for the most part, I've been listening to mostly audiobooks, which has been really saving me in trying to get through my TBR or to be read list. And right now, like I mentioned before, I'm listening to Voyager by Diana Gabaldon, and this is kind of like a 3 strikes and you're out type of a situation. It's the 3rd book in the Outlander series, and I'm just not liking it so far. Like, I love the TV series. I watched up through season 6, and then once I found out that it was a book series, I stopped watching and went back and started reading the book series. I thought that the first book, Outlander, was okay. I had a few issues with it, but I still gave it like a 4-star. And then I read the second book, Dragonfly and Amber, and that was horrible. I gave it 2 stars. I feel like the problems that I had in the first book really were amplified in the second book. And now I'm giving this 3rd book a chance to see if it will redeem the series and want me to continue reading it. But I'm just finding that it's still not really good. I am not liking the main characters. I find them really annoying and stubborn and just very unlikable. Even though historical fiction is my favorite genre, specifically historical romance, and technically Outlander is considered a historical romance, I'm just not liking it. Like, on paper, it sounds really great, especially it being in Scotland and I'm majority Scottish. On paper, like I mentioned, it sounds like something that I would really like, but just in execution, it's not doing it for me. Like, there's way too much detail about history and politics. And then also, it's way too spicy. I don't mind sex being mentioned in books, but it's only for the sake of the plot and not for lustful reasons. So that's where I draw a line. There's a difference between having sex in books for the plot and it being spicy, and this is just pure spice, and I don't appreciate that like at all. And so those are like kind of my 3 main reasons, is that I don't like the main characters, I don't like how detailed and slow paced the plot is, and then I also just don't appreciate the spice. So I'm gonna finish Voyager by Diana Gabaldon, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think I'm gonna continue with the series once I'm finished with this 3rd book. But yeah, I'm just waiting for some DoorDash orders right now, and we'll see what the rest of the day brings. Home from doing DoorDash. I'm done doing that for the day. It is Sunday, so I do have my full-time preschool teacher position starting tomorrow for the week. So I'm gonna finish editing this video and schedule it up on YouTube to be posted for Monday. And I just appreciate you guys being here and watching this. If you've watched this far, please leave a car down below. I have DoorDashed quite a bit during this video, so I just appreciate you watching along, even though it wasn't too exciting. I will be uploading only once a week now on Mondays. I was normally uploading on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so 3 times a week, but I just hit my 6-month mark here on YouTube, and even though I really enjoy making YouTube videos, it is a hobby for me, and I felt like posting 3 times a week was really taxing, especially also having a full-time job and technically a part-time job with DoorDash. And I want this to be fun for me and also fun for you as well. And please let me know if like me only posting like once a week isn't doing it for you as a subscriber. Please let me know and I'll try to post more videos throughout the week. But just for like me and my sanity, I'm only gonna be posting once per week from now on Mondays. If I get more time in the future to do more content shooting for YouTube, I most certainly will. But just as of right now, I can't really put too much more effort than I already am into it, and that just amounts to me posting 1 time per week on Mondays. So I appreciate you being here. Please leave that emoji down below of the car, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!